Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. This is episode 353, as well as day 353 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame and run 2 major races within this time frame. One of those races being a 50K ultra marathon trail race. That was the Yankee Springs 50K trail race out in Middleville, Michigan on day 156 of my journey, which was June 5th. Was able to run that 31-mile race within 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds, which was a personal record for me, being my first ever 50K ultra marathon race. The next race that came up within this yearly time frame was the Detroit Free Press Marathon. That was on day 290 of this journey, and I ran that 26.2 mile race within 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 28 seconds, which was a personal record for me as well. Was able to hit sub 4, which was exactly what I was shooting for. Now looking forward to another marathon, cutting some time off of that. Within that race on day 290, within that challenge, I ran the Motor City Challenge. Within that Detroit Free Press Marathon, they had a Motor City Challenge, which entailed me to run a 5K and the competitive 1 mile the day before the actual marathon on day 289. So I did that as well. But now we're sitting here on day 353. So we are 12 days away from closing out this year, closing out this 365 day for 2021 challenge. So we've been able to run 353 days now in a row. We've been able to run those 2 major races. Now let's break down the mileage for the day, the week, the month, and the year. So for the day today, day 353, got out there and picked up the mileage again, and was able to get out there and put in 9.7 miles for the day. I had originally planned to do more, but focused on around some stuff around here in the house. I did some other things throughout the day and was able to get out there later than I planned to for the run, but still put in a decent mileage of 9.7 miles for the day. That put me at 29.2 miles for the week, which put me at 66.8 miles for the month, which put me at 1,642.2 miles for the year. So we have also surpassed the 1,500 mile challenge for the year, which was originally 1,250. But halfway through the year, realized I was going to be able to really pass the 1,250 mark by seeing how far along I was just halfway through the year. So I bumped it up to 1,500 miles. We have surpassed that. Have not really bumped it up because I have been kind of nursing my left foot here towards the beginning of December after pumping out 216 miles in the month of November. Kind of had a foot issue come up on my left foot, so I kind of pumped the brakes a little bit here in December. Now I don't really have an overall goal, just kind of seeing where we actually end up. We are now currently sitting at 1642.2. Now let's focus in on these monthly miles of 66.8. And I want to do so because every single month I challenge myself to run a 100-mile challenge, and I do that 100-mile challenge in honor of a charity in which I donate money to, as well as start a coinciding fundraiser to try to raise money and awareness for throughout that month. For the first 11 months, raised money for great charities, for 11 great charities. Now we're here within the 12th month, the month of December, and we're raising money for yet another great charity. This month's charity being St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you would like to donate to this month's charity, you could find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram story or the Defining Discipline Facebook story, or my personal page's Instagram story or my personal page's Facebook story. Within those stories, all you have to do is click on the link and it'll open up the actual Facebook page where you're able to make your donations. Keep in mind, all donations that get made go directly to this cause. Facebook is not taking any percentage or cut of your donations. So that's a kind of a cool thing. Even though they are the middleman and they're the ones kind of helping the transaction go through, they're not taking any cut or percentage. I do know times are tough and not everyone can afford to donate, or maybe you have donated and they still want to help out even more. The next best thing you can do, if that is the case, either of those, is you just click on that share button, because we are trying to raise awareness for this month here in the month of December, and the best way to do that is get as many eyeballs on it. So click that share button, put it on your story, put it on your page, whatever you choose or prefer to do, but let's help raise awareness for St. Jude Children's Hospital here in the month of December. So we are 66.8 miles into the month. I've really slowed it down compared to last month. But now let's kind of get into today's actual word of the day. Which is sorry for the pause. It is December 19th, 2021. Today's word of the day is congenial. Congenial means pleasant, friendly, or suitable. Congenial. Congenial is today's word of the day. So episode 353, day 353. Today's theme for today's episode is rational. I want to talk about rational because, I think it's something we all do, but, especially from me, my perspective, I like to believe I think rationally for the most part on a lot of things. But deep down inside, I think I act irrationally in certain instances of my life. Not all the time, but, for a small example, sometimes I irrationally spend my money on dumb things I don't really need. But there's other instances where, I don't always act or think rationally. And it's something that, I need to sit back and really try to truly analyze and figure out what it is within my life that I'm not doing correctly, and I'm not acting, I'm not really, thinking about it logically or with reason and attacking it that way, and figure out a way to really, flip it and figure a way to really focus in on how to act rationally within those parts of my life. For one instance that I have been kind of thinking and acting rationally, surprisingly, was this beginning of this month when I started to get the foot injury. I realized, hey, this is, a long race. This is me running every single day. That's the goal. And it's to, even continue it after the year is over, to continue to run and run and run every day. See how far I can take it. And if I'm going to do that, I'm not going to be able to do that with a bum leg. So I had to think rationally. I had to think, all right, do I really want to pump out as many miles as I possibly can get this month again in December, to really see, to really try to push my yearly mileage, or do I want to take it back a step and slow down and to really try to nurse my leg? And I had to really sit back and think of it and attack it with a rational mind. And you know, that one was somewhat easy. I knew what I needed to do. The thing was I going to stick to the plan, because it's hard once you're this far along, and once you just put in 200 miles and you're this close to hitting um, a high mileage for the year. It's hard to kind of sit back and slow down, and um, especially when I was putting in the 1.5 mile days. I know it's what I needed to do, but in the back of my mind, I'm telling myself I almost felt like I was cheating, because I wasn't going as far as I wanted to go. I almost felt like I was cheating myself. Um, so the main thing is to try to be as rational as possible. Um, and another thing to really keep in mind is there's going to be those moments, especially moments with lots of pressure, under pressure. Um, those are the moments that need the most rational thought. Um, Try to attack them with a calm, cool, collected mind as much as possible, and to be as rational as possible within those difficult, pressurized moments. So, the main thing is to really try to focus in and try to be as rational as possible within um, any moment, anything that you're doing, anything that you're attacking from a day-to-day basis. Whatever it is, at least that's what I'm going to be trying to do here. That's kind of what, today's episode is about. It's about, me going and focusing on a day-to-day basis. Any decision I make throughout that day, is it a rational decision? Am I doing it with, a good reason, and really sitting there thinking it through? Am I logically doing this, or am I illogically doing something? Um, you know, so it is key to be as rational as possible within this life, and especially for me, being a runner and trying to run all these miles and do these challenges. um, you know, you have to be as rational as possible when planning out something as big as I did this year. Um, Spread the miles out, figure out how you're going to do it, how you're going to attack it, to still have a good enough training plan to hit these races. So it took a lot of rational thinking, but here we are, 353 days into the year, and crushing it. So I obviously rationally did something there with the way I decided to attack this year. Um, Really looking forward to next year. One of these last few episodes, I think we're going to talk about the plans for the future. But until then, let's talk about your daily discipline for the day-to-day, day 353. And it's to do exactly what we just talked about. It is to attack everything with a rational mind, um, to rationally do things. Um, and especially within those moments of pressure. So for the day to day, it's to think about the decisions you're making, and were you making them rationally? Just throughout this day, think of the decisions you made. Did you do those rationally, or did you just do them expediently, or did you just do them, pleasure-seekingly? Whatever the case may be. So, it is to do things rationally. That is your daily discipline for the day to day. Other than that, if you guys can, please give this podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share on our Facebook, our TikTok, our Instagram, our YouTube, and whatever other podcast streaming platform you've been following along and listening on. It is day 353, episode 353. I am your host, Scott. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. We're trying to be as rational as possible. We're about to close today's episode out. So thank you guys so much for listening. I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 354. But until then, have a good one. Stay disciplined, and peace out.